ready for a wild ride? It's Park Talk Radio. D&B taking shots with hot takes as their ammo. We're talking theme parks, news updates, rides and more. Hold on tight, cause we're about to soar. Talking park, we won't hold back, we're letting it all out. Talking park, get your ears ready, cause we're gonna shout. We'll dive into the ride, some anecdotes, and all the fun. No filter here, just two guys trying to be number one.
Coasting on into another, that's right, can you believe it, another episode of Park Talk Radio. It's episode 29, here talking to you live on a Friday, August 16th. This is Bill, and with me, returning again, we didn't have to play his song last time because we had a great guest host, Brennan. Be sure to check out that and our E-Stop, a lot of D23 coverage, and we're going to cover a little bit more here today, but not our main topic, the return of Dave. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, shit. I forgot to get a line, so I'll just go, you don't have to wash your hands after touching your own wang.
And that is truth. You can take, put it on your tombstone.
If you go number 2, wash your hands. If you go number 1, it's just skin. You don't got to worry about it.
Well, don't be, scraping the sweat and gold bond off the gooch there. That'd be a little bit more than just skin. And after a long night of horror nights, you're walking into the ET bathroom, you know what it is.
Yeah, I got enough alcohol in my system where I don't need to wash my hands before nights.
So dry.
Yes.
Well, Dave, it's glad to have you back. I'm glad you're feeling better. I think you sound okay.
I'm feeling a little better. Still got a little bit of funk, but I'm good enough to be at work. So, and I prefer to do this over work. So
the American way: go to work, fuck your health, no good.
Oh yeah.
So as we said at the top, we got a regular show here. Don't know how much we'll get into. We don't have. It hasn't been a busy week, and since Brennan and I recorded on Tuesday earlier this week, we covered most of it, what I want to talk to you about, unfortunately, Dave. But that's not to say we won't have a great time. The listeners come back for more and more. And we
always have a good time.
During the pre-show, we talked about having a business meeting. I guess that's what you do after 29 proper episodes. You know what, let's sit down and talk about some business. So Dave and I will get together on Sunday. Today, however, we got park visits. We got news. We're going to talk about some horror nights. We're going to talk about some Ministry of Magic. World reveal from Universal Epic Universe. We're going to talk about some Universal Hollywood Studios, or Universal Studios Hollywood, excuse me, and a little bit of additional Disney news outside D23. So from the top, let's take it down the drop. Park visits. I was just at the park today, and it is going to be a busy one this weekend, folks. Episode drops on Monday, so Friday here. Tonight and tomorrow, the 17th, it is not only the Universal Annual Pass Holder Party tonight at Universal Studios, also this weekend, tonight and tomorrow. It's some sort of gaming convention with gaming influencers, streamers, and some competitive battles happening over at the Hard Rock. So it was not busy during the day. However, I saw a lot of pass holders with their wristbands on, a lot of these gamers with their necklaces on, and it's gonna be, well, after the fact, can't warn you now, but it was busy in the evenings, and why Universal Studios side closed early tonight and tomorrow at 7, and then that's where the pass holders will have in their party, and then Islands of Adventure does close at its normal time, or actually 9 o'clock, I believe, and the gamers are going to start rolling out and trolling the islands from 9 to midnight for their private event, which was $95 for that private event tonight.
My whole newsfeed is inundated with the pass holder night.
Oh, yeah, pass holder night. The new pass holder pin is out for Universal. It's the clock from the Back to the Future clock tower. And yesterday they were giving away free churros and cookies to the pass holders. Tonight is the pass holder party, which you needed a highly sought after, quick to go reservation. And at this event, you can get a new magnet, you can get a new pin, another pin, and have a exclusive time in the parks with your other pass holders with limited waits on the Universal Studios side, which I guess the biggest oh my god, why can't I think of the word? Biggest draw? biggest honkers. What ride would you say is gonna be the biggest draw at the pass holder night, Dave?
Oh, I can't think of the word either. Now I'm trying to think. The biggest.
Not the incentive. Not the premiere.
I'd say the biggest draw.
Biggest draw. It's not the word I want. It's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue as well.
What
the
ride?
biggest attraction?
The biggest attraction? The longest wait?
What ride do I think it's going to be?
Yes, at Universal Studios Orlando, I believe every ride is open. Every attraction will be going. Maybe not the shows. Definitely not Animal Actors.
So only at UO.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's private events for both sides tonight. However, the pass holder one's going to be the
AP.
bigger one. Yes, for the pass holder one, which is on the UO side.
Oh, geez. So I'm going to take a wild stab and say probably 90% of the people are going to go to Fast and Furious first.
You know what? That is right. It's been on seasonal operation so far, and that you just can't get in there these days when it's actually closed for the majority of it.
I'd have to say the biggest draw, the biggest wait time is probably going to be Mummy. It's a pass holder favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a couple years ago, before they refurbed it, it was consistent 5 to 15 minute wait, and then for some reason now, ever since they've reopened, which I don't believe they ever officially came out of technical rehearsal. They did,
gone.
but
the sign's gone.
They did, but they didn't. It wasn't like, well, we're open, you know. Ever since then, when I'm there, I never see it below a 55-minute wait. So I think Revenge of the Mummy and Gringotts are probably two of your biggest attractions.
I would absolutely say both of those, and I know there's some sort of acknowledgement or enjoyment or big following of riding Rip Ride Rocket at night due to the lights on the side of the coaster.
That is true. You do not get to do that very often. You know, you can go during the day of horror nights and get on that thing with a 5-minute wait, but you go at night, you know, a lot of nights it's going to be an hour-long wait just to get on that attraction during horror nights, which I don't know why you would ride rides instead of getting in line for a haunted house, but you know,
thing you paid extra money for specifically.
Yeah, albeit that's your decision, not mine. Spend your money how you want.
Sure. So I'd say probably Mummy or Gringotts. Gringotts probably very popular tonight. I don't know if there's any sort of drinks or food specials, except you just get to go into the park. And then on the other side, IOA, I believe it's GCX, which Gamer Convention Expo is my guess. I don't know the exact word of it. They'll be on the island side, the gamers out there and about, and their ticket, as I mentioned, was $95. It let them get in at 5 p.m., included parking, and it lets them stay till midnight, where 9 to midnight is a private park event for just those attendees. Not too bad.
So these tickets were open for the public to buy?
I could have bought. I looked at it because I happened to cross it yesterday on my feed. I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I know about this? I would have gone. But it was $115 just to go into like the expo hall, and then the private event was $95 separate.
Okay, so you had to have to be able to go in the expo hall to get the private event.
No, you could have gone to the private event separately.
Huh.
So
and I'm assuming that probably comes with. I'm assuming that probably comes with some free food as well.
Don't know about food. You definitely get a little swag bag with the logo.
They probably have cash bars open and stuff like that.
Absolutely. They were setting up the DJs earlier.
So the biggest attraction probably gonna be Hagrid's.
Velocicoaster.
Let me ask you a question, Bill. If you could pick between the free annual pass holder event, irregardless of which park they were at, or paying the $95 to go to the gaming event, which one would you go to?
Well, pass holder event I could have gone for free if I so wished and got the reservation. However, that's at the UO side, and they do get a special sensational viewing tonight just for them, which could be kind of neat. But it's nothing different from the regular nighttime show that they put on. And they're not doing the parade, they're not showing off the lighting effects of the parade at night. Mm-hmm. I would probably pay the $95, especially if I'm not a pass holder, because it includes parking. That's $32 right there. Your ticket is now only $30-something.
So I'm torn. with you talking about the lighting and stuff like that, obviously the show lighting's not going to be up. It's probably going to be around the first time at night. Oh no, actually, Sensational's been going on, so I was gonna say people are going to get to see the Horror Nights props out at night, but
the lighting
they're already able to do that during the regular days because they stay open until dark for Sensational.
Yep.
No, I'd pay the $95 and do the gamer side as well.
I imagine it'll be less crowded.
Whichever park they were in, less crowded, and annual pass holders feel so entitled. So it's just it would seem like it would get really annoying being there with just annual pass holders.
I mean, they're a good bunch. They're the ones we hang out with normally in the holding pens for Horror Nights.
Can't stand them.
They have an odor about them. Ugh, smells.
Ugh. You think you're better than everyone else.
We think we're better than all of them.
Yeah, true.
And we stink. Oh, we stink. That was my adventure today into the park. Every single day now, we're posting it on our socials at Park Talk Radio across everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are our big ones. Find us on all your podcast feeds. Like, subscribe, engage, share us. It costs you nothing except a few seconds. We really appreciate it. 5 stars goes a long way to keep us in the conversation and the algorithm. And then, of course, voicemails and emails, parktalkradio@gmail.com. And your voicemails, 407-490-2220. You can also send a text message. We'd be happy to take your questions and interact with you live. But that's what I saw today. And as I was saying, my whole point, I was going again today because I saw they had put out even more Scare Zone stuff. They're adding more food booths. I wanted to go get some photos for Brennan to create into something nice. And it seems to be that way, even up at the top of Red Coconut, which now has its marquee banner out there. It's the Dead Coconut Club once again. It appears to be an 80s vampire one featuring Blumhouse. Which I don't need. I don't need vamp. I don't need any vamp things in my Dead Coconut.
I'm assuming I've never done Dead Coconut Club, so I'm assuming when I'm there on Halloween night, they usually open at 4-ish?
Depends on the day. They could open at 4 or they don't open till 7, which is a problem. Why would you not be open before the event? Because the event's now begun. Yeah. You're not losing, some people don't show up till 9, 10 o'clock. They could go pre-game in the Dead Coconut, which I want to do a whole series on Horror Nights Survival Kit and your pre-game suite, be it at the hotel or City Walk, maybe next week. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they have that up. They had more food booths, and that's where you can go check out all these great photos and content at Park Talk Radio. Dave, I believe you have some input on a park visit this week, which is a rare one.
Yes, so I was actually within a mile of a theme park this past weekend.
Oh, shit.
2 weeks when this episode comes out, 2 weekends ago. I went to New Orleans for my sister's fiance's bachelor party.
Where'd you go?
I did not want to go at all. I could not afford to go, so I didn't have the greatest of times.
Where'd you go?
I was able to see the old, still defunct Six Flags over New Orleans. I was able to see coasters and structures from where I was at. I actually got to go there once when I was a little kid. I think it was only open for a year, 2 at most. It was Jazzland before Six Flags took it over, and I did get to go before Katrina flooded the whole place. And
a lot of standing but not operating.
It's been standing defunct since the hurricane. Not torn down. There's a lot of urban exploring videos of it on YouTube and stuff like that. So I got to do that, and then the only other thing that was kind of a park visit for me is I got to do a haunted pub crawl through New Orleans.
Those are so much fun.
Which was very cool. So I got to see places like
try to upskirt you.
So none. It was actually kind of different.
Okay.
They took you to the pub, you got your drink, and then you walked outside and they told a ghost story. It was
Those
didn't
like
see
the St.
anything.
Augustine
Didn't.
Ones.
Yeah, didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. More just other obnoxious people running around.
How were the drinks?
I did hang out. The drinks were okay. Each
fine.
place had a little specialty drink that you could get. Most of them were not great. This place called Lafitte's had the Lafitte's. It's a name of an old pirate.
Oh, the worst pirate. Probably had.
So they have
left.
they have a piano in there where you can tip the guy to play whatever, and it's like an old. It looks like an old pirate's house. They haven't changed it much since it opened. This is if you ever used to watch, America's Most Haunted, or back on the Travel Channel when they used to do, things to do for Halloween and stuff like that. This would be the bar they talked about with the fiery eyes in the fireplace and stuff like that.
Cool.
But they had a frozen drink called Purple Drink, and it is it's pretty good. But we hung out in there and listened to the piano for a long time after the tour was over because that was our last stop. Other than that, I got to see, places where they filmed like American Horror Story and stuff from Horror Nights and stuff like that. So,
pretty rad, man.
So, it kind of ties in a little bit.
You said you couldn't really do a whole lot due to funds. Did you sit in the room a lot?
No, just really nursed my beverages and just
Gotcha.
took in the atmosphere. So, yeah, it was a okay time. I don't not knocking on anybody from New Orleans. It's just not my cup of tea. So, it's hot, smells.
Yeah. It's super hot. Big swamp. It's not even Mardi Gras.
It's all, there's no roller coasters or, haunted houses, so it's not for me.
Not your typical park visit. You saw the park, though, and I'm sure you walked by some cemeteries, which are considered parks in a sense.
Yes.
And maybe a national park, who knows?
Many cemeteries and, yes, many parks, yep.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you had a sounds like a mostly nice time, despite not wanting to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got plenty of fun on the way. Looking very much forward to Horror Nights and your cruise in November. I'm sure you'll have a great time there.
We'll see.
We'll see. Oh, God. Well, maybe you shouldn't go.
And actually, that's a great segue into our news. If you wanted me to go ahead and
I was going to turn it over to our resident cruise director, Captain Dave. He's here with some cruise news.
Breaking news, let me share the scoop. From the heart of Central Florida, it's all about being in the loop. Time to talk news, spreading international, going worldwide. Theme parks, roller coasters, and all your dark rides. The latest buzz, we're keeping it real. Ooh, yeah.
And you haven't had a chance to look at any of the new Disney cruise stuff we've been talking about the past few weeks. Now the D23 cruise stuff that has just been announced, right?
No, I have not had a chance to talk about to go there yet. The Carnival Vista that is sailing out of Port Canaveral, so right a hop, skip, and a jump from the theme parks. It's actually the cruise ship
Wait,
Bill and I are going
hold
on.
Is that the one we're going on? What's wrong with it? Oh, shit. What are you going to say?
So, the Carnival Vista was built in 2015, started sailing in 2016, I believe, if not 2017, out of Galveston, Texas.
This thing's almost 10 years old.
It's actually one of their newer ships. It's one of the nicer ships. I've been on ships that are much older.
We have whole
So,
failure.
the only issue with it is, so on and off, they've had some propulsion issues with one of their engines.
Jesus.
They didn't have to cancel a cruise or anything like that. They tried to fix it, got everybody on board, and they had to forego their 3 Western Caribbean ports of Aruba, Curacao, and Grand Turk, and they changed and went to 4 islands in the Bahamas instead, which are much closer, easier to get to, don't take as much thrust, not as much power to get there.
He's more thrust.
Because they're under a time constraint, and they, if they're not going to be back for their next cruise, sometimes they have to skip ports or, So, and actually, in your cruise contract, when you sign up for a cruise, you acknowledge that, hey, these ports are subject to change at any time for any reason, and you sign a document saying,
refund.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So people were in outrage. There were videos all over TikTok, videos all over YouTube of people demanding refunds and demanding
compensation, right?
Things back, compensation.
Well, yeah, and, I'm going to less enjoyed islands. I didn't pay to come to this island.
And and getting on the side of the people who are upset about not getting a refund, it is much cheaper to do a Bahamian cruise than it is a Western Caribbean cruise.
Right.
You could do a Bahamian cruise for a lot cheaper than it is to go to those islands like Aruba and Curacao.
Well, it's basically down the road from Cape Canaveral.
Yeah,
it's across the street if you're going out of the Key West port.
A lot cheaper. However, they had already set sail with the people on board, so they gave the people a couple of options. They told the people, you can get off at one of these Bahamian ports. We will give you a full cruise refund for future cruises.
But you're getting off the boat at this other island. Find your own way back.
If you're demanding not to sail with us. Which was one option. The other option was stay on the boat, enjoy the ports. I believe they ended up saying you'll get a 25% cruise credit toward a future cruise.
Okay, so quarter
and
back.
$400 of onboard credit during the sailing.
400.
Yep.
Can you use onboard credit at the casino?
You can use onboard credit anywhere on the boat.
Oh.
Casino.
Okay,
anywhere.
I can make some money off Old Carnival then.
And they also refunded the excursions for the other ports, obviously.
Wow, that's the minimal.
And I got to thinking about it, and at first I was like, we're going on this boat in 2 months. We're doing the 8-day Western Caribbean cruise together in 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be livid if that happens. But then again, if you trade me out 3 Western Caribbean ports, Aruba, Curacao, and Grand Turk, I'd love to go to them. But if you gave me 4 Bahamian ports, we're still on a cruise together. We're still going to go have a good time,
That's really the question. What's the ultimate difference between all these islands besides maybe the excursions? There's still the beach. So there's still a palm tree.
but Bahamian ports are some of the more frowned upon ports in the cruising industry.
Oh.
They're so common and so overdone. Everybody's been to them. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all is the kind of mindset there. The Nassau, before they built up a strictly tourist area there in Nassau, but back before that, you got heckled and scammed, and people there would just rage all over you, for your money.
Bahamas seemed like it's a great drug land. I was offered green and white.
Yep, green, white party favors.
Yeah,
and then the cop.
You want green? You want green? Something else, brother? White?
Yep. Oh. Yeah, I had that happen to me when I got off a Disney cruise, and then right next to the guy that asked me if I wanted green or white was a Bahamian police officer with a old 1980s revolver, and I was like,
Was he undercover?
No, just standing there.
Oh, make a little on the side, hustle money.
Yeah, it wasn't him, but he's standing right next to the guy selling drugs. So I was like, whatever. But I figured I'd throw that out there because that is only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Universal. And that
cruises are the floating theme parks, and a lot of Disney stuff is coming up. And there are attractions on these cruises these days. Disney has aqua coasters. There's one that has a whole full go-kart track on there. And, of course, some slides. So we'll be sure to give a full down and dirty review from the Carnival Vista when we do disembark in November. I hope our thrust is in proper order. I need that thrust, man.
Definitely.
Get me down to those, the Western Islands you were saying? Is that where we're going?
Western Caribbean.
Caribbean. To the west. Well, cool. I'm glad. Thank you for the update. We will get some more Disney Cruise floating theme park updates
and I'm sorry,
in the future.
I will say they have announced that the next sailing, I believe, is August 18th, is scheduled to sail to the Western Caribbean ports. They've said they don't plan on changing the itinerary of that next sailing.
The 18th.
I believe is the next sailing.
Okay, so that's this Sunday, the day before yesterday. the day before the drop of this podcast. So enjoy your full thrust, sailors.
Yeah, Carnival did announce that they are going back to their normal scheduled ports.
Cool. Thank you, Dave, for the cruise update. Maybe we should get a little lasers for you when it's cruise talk time, or maybe the foghorn. That'd be pretty good.
I like the foghorn.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Just it's cruise time with Dave. All right, next on into our next news story. One that's been delayed a couple weeks now. 2 weeks, I believe, due to number of pieces. However, it's time to jump in. There was a full e-stop on this. You can check it out. But I want to talk with Dave a little bit on the final world reveal, the world of the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Did you have a chance to look at all this, the videos, the content that's going to be available here, the attractions, the experiences? Did you listen to the e-stop?
I did not listen to e-stop.
Oh.
I did watch the video that Universal put out.
Okay.
I do have thoughts and opinions on it.
Let's give your overall thought and just feeling of it, and then I'll go step by step through each piece as we normally do. And you tell me your intimate, personalized thoughts on that particular subject.
So, all right. So I'm going to start by giving
overall. Yep.
Overall, I feel like this is a cut and paste of Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, but in a new theme park. I feel like, we're getting another wand shop. We're getting probably similar food options, butterbeer.
It's French. They have butterbeer.
I mean,
Biabua. They have French butterbeer.
So I get that, and that's fine. I'm sure I'm going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just afraid that it's going to be too similar to the other lands we already have. That's just my being hesitant to be overly excited. I think the concept art looks beautiful. I think it's going to be very beautiful. I know it's supposed to be a lot taller than anything they already have in the other two Wizarding Worlds.
Oh, yes.
As far as the building scale.
We should remember what they said. They said the shortest building in this French version is taller than the tallest building in Diagon. And those are some tall buildings.
I think it's very cool that we're going to walk into a tent, and then it's like small little tent that's going to open up into this massive theater. One thing I'm less optimistic about is I never got too big into Fantastic Beasts. And I think that's the only time we've seen French Wizarding World, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. They not. You mean you had the Beauxbatons? They had.
Yeah, I mean,
they came to visit.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so my issue is the continuity of the land where we're focusing on this is Wizarding Paris, but then we're going for the e-ticket attraction into the Flu Network back over to England.
Yeah, 1990s
to the Ministry.
England, and then the whole land and the show is 1920s France. I understand.
Yeah, so that's the continuity kind of throws me off there. I get that they wanted to put that attraction in somewhere, and that's kind of how they had to do it, because you don't just want to open up another English Wizarding World.
I think the question
you want
is,
something.
where would
you want a little variety.
Where would it be?
Exactly.
What outdoor section can you do, or would you want to see rather?
You don't really have one.
Got the castle. Got Diagon. I mean,
yeah.
You could the Weasley's Burrow. That's super exciting for the outdoor portion.
No, I mean, yeah. There's not. It's a lot of vacant land.
They could do the whole tent over the land and do a fully giganto Ministry of Magic the entire way, but then make it feel like you're inside a building the entire time.
And there's not much variety with that then.
Right. It's difficult.
So I mean, I get why they did it. Now I will say, the first time I saw the attraction, the e-ticket attraction, which focuses on Dolores Umbridge's escape from the Ministry of Magic. The first time I saw the concept art, it screamed, a mixture of Gringotts and Forbidden Journey, which I was like, oh yeah, don't really care too much for this. But if they do kind of like what they've kind of hinted at and make it more of a Tower of Terror-esque attraction and focus less on the screens and less on, you know, and give us a little more of a thrill, then I think it could be magnificent. So I guess we'll have to see, because until you go, the concept art doesn't do really too much for you. So
okay, I think there's some fair opinions in there.
Yeah, the thing that made me a little excited is when they said the elevator is going to move left, right, up, down, you know, in all directions. You know, so I mean, that could add a thrilling aspect to it. So instead of just a mixture of Gringotts and Forbidden Journey.
Right. I mean, this thing's going to move slower than Gringotts, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It
looked, to me, it looked like larger versions of the floating benches.
Yeah, that's not incorrect. It's the elevator lift, and then there's 2 rows of 6.
Yeah. So if I had to throw out guesses, I'm assuming mixture of Spider-Man, Transformers, the new Jurassic World attraction over in Beijing, with maybe a little bit of drop thrill. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, I like those opinions. They're, I think, mostly fair. I don't think I don't feel it's going to disappoint. I, like you, was very trepidatious before the reveal. And upon watching the video, I actually got super excited. I, like you and like many, because there's only been 3 instead of the planned 5. Fantastic Beasts did not land. It was not one of my favorites by any means. However, they're making this world seem incredibly interesting and drawing. And yes, we're gonna have a wand shop. The boxes are triangle instead of rectangle. That doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. I think it's going to be really exciting because it's very well lit. 1920s France is far more illuminated relative to, of course, Diagon Alley and then Nocturne Alley. Extremely dark, a little bit darker. And then the lighting is very dim, like those old fluorescent lights. And then, as well as Hogsmeade, you get into the shops. It's very condensed, claustrophobic, and again, dim lighting. In France, and at least from the concept art, it looks very bright, illuminated, uplifting, which I think is going to bring such a different feeling and elation to being inside this particular world. And you still have, of course, the little dark wizard's corner, because that's always exciting, right?
I don't think I'm going to dislike it at all. I do think it'll be probably around my third favorite land. I'm thinking third favorite land at the parks. So,
well, let's go step by step, get quick thoughts on the individual pieces of it from you, and we can talk. And then at the end, we'll do a quick hype list at this current juncture of the worlds at Epic. So the first one is the main dining area. It's the Café L'air de la Sarine. This is the first place you see on your left once you enter Wizarding France. Fast casual. You order on your phone, they bring it to the table. They have alcohol available. French food promised to be here, including French baked goods, sandwiches, special plates of the day and desserts, as well as butterbeer, non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks, including beer, cocktails, and French wines. And which I've said a couple times, them explicitly saying cocktails is a bit different, since right now at the Wizarding Worlds they have a liquor list and then they have a mixers list and you have to make your own drink. If there's pre-established cocktails with fun ingredients and names, I think that's a great step in the direction that we want to see in these incredibly immersive parks, instead of saying here's what you got. This is a call bar.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what it comes down to this one, Dave, is if you like French food.
I don't know that I've had all that much French cuisine in my lifetime.
I mean, of course, everyone knows escargot.
I have that every time I go on a cruise, yes.
Creme brulee, dessert.
I'm not a sweets guy, but if you take the sugar off the top of the creme brulee, I like it because it's not as sweet.
Pudding, sure.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, I mean, of course, you got the baguette, you got the croissant.
Yeah.
I'm also not super familiar with hot French dishes myself. I guess Ratatouille, right? The movie?
No, Ratatouille was a mouse. He wasn't French.
Ratatouille, huh?
Ratatouille was a rat. He was not French. He was not French.
He had the mustache, though. You go, ha ha.
No, that was Gaston.
Oh,
the fat chef.
Gaston. Gastric bypass Gaston. He's the
Gusto.
one. Gusto. No, Gusto's the one that runs the horror makeup show. He's the one inside the costume.
Yes.
And he also, he moonlights at the crepe stand outside.
Where are we going?
It sounds like if you like, I don't know French food, so I don't know if this is going to hit for anybody. I'm sure it's going to be great. A lot of the renovated and newer, I don't want to say upscale to mislead you, the new fast casual renditions, Minions Cafe, Circus McGurkus, even Mel's, these new updated food offerings have been very well received. I don't want to speak for you, Dave. I really enjoyed Minions Cafe. I thought it was great.
Were you with me when I ate there?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the one time that I ate there, you were there too. Yeah,
It was good.
I enjoyed it.
Pricey,
A little pricey, but you know, I will pay that more premium for a quick service restaurant if you provide me with a good product, and I enjoyed it. So
All right,
can't fault them.
Of course, we're going to be trying everything at the new park, so not to say we won't be there, of course. All right, here's your favorite spot. You've made it clear. The Cosme Acajor Bagus Magique. This is the wand shop. Again, looks very refined, very collected, and organized, very well illuminated relative to the Ollivander and the satellite Ollivander's location that they squeezed into Hogsmeade. Are you going to be buying a new wand, I guess?
No, I've bought one wand, and I always go to bring it with me when I go on vacation, but I always leave it at home on accident.
Whoops.
And anytime I have had it, I don't take the time to do wizard magic because there's always a line of 5 or 6 little booger eaters in front of me.
Well, they're having fun. Let them have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, you can
freaking-
swish your wand and pretend you did it when it goes off.
No, I just like to Vada Cadaver people with my turkey leg.
That's. We'll see if we can even afford those this year. My God.
Probably not.
And with the wand, of course, comes new interactive wand experiences. This is supposed to be a new wand iteration based on permits, the Wand 3.0. It will sync up to your app. You can track your progress on what spells you've casted, maybe how many times, if there's any badges or collectibles in the land. Up next is the first of 2 attractions, the Le Cirque Arcanu. This, of course, is going to have the pre-show where you're walking through sideshow exhibits. You get the storyline that Newt's suitcase has been stolen by the ringmaster, and he's trying to renew interest in this little circus of his on the streets of Paris. And there'll be puppets, live actors, aerialists, and other things to note. Good for all ages. It's an action kid-friendly show. Thoughts,
I mean, it sounds
feelings?
like a great air-conditioned, time.
Yeah.
It's giving me very much the Toothless theater show we're getting vibe.
The Untrainable Dragon.
The Untrainable Dragon vibe, So I really tried hard to watch the Fantastic Beasts franchise. It just did not tickle my fancy.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You really only need to watch part of the second movie. That's when they're in the French area.
Okay. Well, I will do my research.
I think the show's gonna be really cool. As it's mentioned, it's the first ever live action Harry Potter show at a theme park. Of course, you have the Cursed Child Broadway production. However, this is the first time doing it, and in a brand new theme park that have 2 what could be considered mini Broadway productions. That's really incredible. The Untrainable Dragon, I'm not worried about. That one's gonna be aces.
It's better than going to Diagon Alley and only having one attraction.
One thing to do, right?
With you got the Tale of Three Brothers and the Tales of Beetle Bard and the Banshees, but I mean that's really just a streetmosphere experience that's ripped off. It's great. It's awesome.
We have it.
But I'm glad they're adding more to the land than just one attraction.
And this thing will suck up a crowd, and it's going to be pretty damn incredible, I would say.
It's going to be very popular, for sure.
Very, very popular. We also have the Le Gobelet Noir, which is the shadowy corners of Place Cachet, which is the area that we're in Paris. Le Gobelet. is where the international dark witches and wizards gather to escape the prying eyes of the Paris ministry, and it's another fast casual food service. And despite the outward looks of the concept art, both locations have the same amount of seating, 250 seats each.
I think I'd probably go to that place over the other place.
I agree. There would be slightly different menu offerings.
Yeah.
But of course, dark witches and wizards. Why not? Way cooler. It would be definitely the darkest area in the Wizarding World area, right?
Yes.
We have two more here. Bar Moonshine. This is where the American witches and wizards can enjoy a taste of home at Bar Moonshine. They'll find exclusive beers, wines, and cocktails served amid U.S. Quidditch team pennants and other items of Wizarding Americana. And this sounds really cool. It's more of a walk-up bar with a couple spots. Very similar, I believe, in size to the Irish pub available at Universal Studios Hollywood in their Parisian area, oddly enough.
Okay.
So it's a walk-up kind of bar, not a whole lot of seating. It's not really a sports bar. Similar to what we have now at Hogshead in Hogsmeade. You find the Hogshead bar, and there's not a whole lot of seating. It's really just walk up and go.
Yeah.
But still interesting. That's how we're going to probably squeeze in some of those other Harry Potter beers that are found not in Paris. Again, excited.
I like
cocktails. Always fun to try the new beers that are created specifically and exclusively for these worlds. It's always been very much enjoyed, and I don't think they make a bad one. There's less enjoyed, but there's no bad beer that is an exclusive at the theme park, at least Universal-wise. And then finally, you have the big boy, the main e-ticket attraction, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. This is a 40-inch height requirement. Thrill, motion simulation. Harry, Ron, Hermione are going to the trial of Dolores Umbridge. She breaks out, and all hell ensues. There will be audio animatronics. There will be LED screens that enhance the physical sets. There will be full screens, immersion technology, more than likely representing Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and even more technologically advanced, even more technologically demanding than Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment.
I'm excited to see it.
Yep. And to your point, this ride vehicle, it's not, it looks like a Tower of Terror, but it doesn't fit nearly as many guests. It doesn't have a drop element. However, based on the permits and the sketch renderings of the ride vehicle, it's going to sit on a moving platform, very similar to the Scoop with Spider-Man, right? And this thing can raise up 4 times as high as the Scoop, where the Scoop can only go a few feet in the air. This thing goes 4 times as high.
Okay.
And it can go up and down and have a simulated drop.
Yes.
And it can rotate full 360, very similar to the motion base of the Scoop or a Transformers ride vehicle.
Okay.
And you see how wide it is. It's 6 across. Seeing this thing move, you gotta need a big fucking show building. And
absolutely,
they certainly do, based on the model and fly-through of Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. So I'm with all that said and showing some of the video and concept of the ride, I got extremely excited, very jazzed for this new land that's going to be here in less than a year. That said, Dave, where do you sit? All worlds have been revealed. We have not seen only a few aspects of the park at this point, which the main one is the Helios Grand Hotel that's sitting atop. We don't know the nighttime shows or elements, which could impact your rating based on Celestial Park. Mm-hmm. So where do you stand right now as far as how excited are you top to bottom for Epic Universe, and what would be your rating for most excited to maybe just least excited? Not least excited. Just
speaking of
priority.
The photos I've seen of Helios Grand, it looks amazing. I cannot wait.
God. The nighttime being up top of the nighttime bar.
Mm-hmm. That being said, my 5th most anticipated land would be How to Train Your Dragon.
Really? Really?
Yes.
That show looks good, and it's the biggest world. I think it's 11 or 13 acres, the biggest one to start.
I think it'll be fun. You know, I'm not disappointed with any of these lands.
Drones?
I'm not disappointed with any of this.
Oh, okay.
To me,
I don't mean to misrepresent you.
You know, to me, that's just kind of right now my number 5.
Okay.
What's your 5?
Number 5. For me, despite there being so much more relative to my experience, it's actually Super Nintendo World.
Ah.
Since I did visit the Hollywood version, which only has Mario Kart, does not have the Yoshi Adventure, does not have Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong's My Kart Madness, but due to having been there, and it's amazing. I can't wait to go back. I want to live in almost all in all these worlds, having seen a good chunk of it already and lived it. Some of the mystique and the draw is lost on me, unfortunately. Not to say that Super Nintendo World's not going to kick ass.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's switch my 4 and 5. Then Super Nintendo's my 5, Dragon's my 4, because I agree with you. I've seen a lot of the Super Nintendo stuff. Haven't been there, haven't visited, haven't watched any ride-throughs. I did watch eons ago a ride-through of the Yoshi ride over at USJ. But yeah, it looks great, but I'll put that at my 5 as well. So, and then my 4 would be Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon.
I think our 5s is actually going to be the flip from the general public, because everyone's going to rush Super Nintendo World. All the families got to get on that Mario Kart, which draws easily 3 hours still during the summer at Universal Hollywood.
Oh, for sure.
My number 4, which this is probably the most difficult one. Like 2, 3, 4 were the most challenging ones. One's easy.
Yeah, one's easy.
2, 3, 4. 4, God, even now I'm still contemplating. I'm putting this one here for the time being, because we don't have all the information yet. We don't know what the nighttime spectaculars will be as far as fireworks, the fountain shows, and such. I'm putting Celestial Park number 4.
Okay, I can respect that.
We have Stardust Racers, looks incredible. They dropped a new video today through the official Universal Orlando Resort channels, showing a bit closer views of it. The big showcase topics on that particular were that the track is not illuminated at night, only the coaster trains, to make it appear as if it's a comet shooting across the sky, and that I can't remember the other one. But and you of course have the Celestial Spin, which is a very, very cool piece of the tracks intertwining, where both trains will at one point be below and above each other, so you can look at your racing comets. And then the carousel looks great, the water pad, of course, the big fountains. I don't know the exact show. If the nighttime show is going to be great to watch from there, more than likely. Or is it going to be better to watch from maybe Dark Universe or Harry Potter and see it a little bit closer to the launch site? Followed by when the Celestial Park transitions from daytime to nighttime, there's a full symphony and transitionary experience. Don't know what that entails. So it could be cool, could be not as great as I'm hyping it up in my head. And for that, despite it all, is at a very challenging place in the 4th spot.
I respect that. My number 3, and we don't have to get too much into it because I've kind of already talked about it, is going to be the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I just think it could be too similar to the others, but we'll see. And I think they're all going to be amazing. But Wizarding World's my 3.
Yep. And 3 for me will now be, due to this Harry Potter reveal, How to Train Your Dragon falls to 3rd place because of it. Because I did not think the Harry Potter reveal would be showing as good stuff as I could have expected. I didn't think it was going to be as enticing or as exciting as I would have guessed. I had Dragon as an easy number 2, and here it is at 3 now. And that's not the takeaway from Dragon. We're going to have that super cool show. We have a great coaster coming in. Yeah. The water ride looks like a lot of fun. The theming and the scale of this actual land is unparalleled. You're going to have some of probably one of the better food options in the park with Mead Hall. And then the drones. I mean, come on, there's fucking dragon drones flying around during the day. Just, look at that. Anywhere you go, complete 360, full XYZ access, you'll see dragons.
So my number 2, and I think this is going to surprise you because
I'm shocked already. There's only 2 options left.
It's probably your number 1 is Dark. I'm just kidding. It's Celestial Park.
I love that. You know, number 2.
So when I think of a theme park, my first thing that comes to mind is the entrance, the ambiance, the atmosphere, You know, the retail locations, the dining locations, the food carts, the music, you know, just getting that first overview of the adventure you're about to go on through the day.
Absolutely.
You know, there's nothing better than walking into port of entry and hearing those sounds and walking down that pathway and then seeing that lagoon get bigger and bigger as you get closer. And then that grand reveal of all the islands. You know, there's nothing better than walking down Main Street, USA, and getting that reveal of the castle for the first time and trying to pick where you're going to go first.
The hub
to
opening
me,
up is super good.
To me, that is, you know, that is the definition of a theme park, and that's what I think about a lot when I think about experiences at a theme park, you know. So for me, it's number 2. The coaster looks amazing. The carousel looks cool. I'm excited to hear about the dining options and the bars and, you know, the nightlife and how they're going to do it at night and, you know.
With thrust.
It just sounds like a fun experience to me. So
easily. And spend time soaking it in and taking in the park. And I love that they really focused and took this mantra of we're putting the park back in the theme park, and goddamn did they do it. Or it appears they're going to do it with all the different waterfalls and the water features, including the fountains and all the wonderful flowers and trees. I read a statistic that just in Celestial Park, and maybe Epic Universe as a whole, but definitely Celestial Park, that all the flowers and annuals and trees and all the greenery, topiaries and such, has more than double what IOA and Universal have put together.
wow.
Yeah. And absolutely, and again, the Atlantic restaurant, I can't remember the name, Flying Dragon. It's not Nine Dragons. That's a bar at Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
Both of those sound super good. And then Celestiki, man, oh, that bar is gonna be so exciting before Dark Universe. Which leaves me at my number 2, which is, after our discussion, I don't think it's hard to understand that Wizarding World Ministry of Magic is going to be bonkers. I'm excited for the scale of the world, and they've made scale buildings from Paris, and they've created this incredible ride, which is going to be, again, scale model of the foyer, the lobby of the Ministry of Magic. I cannot wait to see what they do. I've always been a huge fan of the Potter series, been a huge fan of the attractions and the worlds they've created so far, and they're proven there, just like they're proven with Super Nintendo. That does not stop me from having Dark Universe at number 1. Not a question. Easiest pick. I couldn't gush enough on it during the E-Stop or our previous conversations on that world.
How do you not go with that? Das Steakhouse, you know?
Steakhouse, steak is on steaks on steaks.
The Wolfman animatronic on the Wolfman coaster, the insane ride we're going to be getting with Van Helsing.
Yeah,
Victoria
Helsing.
Van Helsing. You know, and they've
Victoria
said
Frankenstein. Van Helsing's daughter is in the haunted house.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. That's my bad,
I mean,
dog.
there's been some pieces of people on site saying this thing's fucking scary.
Yes. Yeah. There's the people that created this are saying this is actually going to be scary. So perfect. That's what we wanted.
Sign me up.
And the good thing is, I think this land is actually going to be one of the least crowded lands, you know?
Here's hoping.
Even though it's something we're all excited for.
The theme park has a run towards that one.
Well, yeah, but children are a little more, what do you say, desensitized than they used to be.
Sure.
So when I was a kid, I would have ran the other way. And I love the classic monsters, you know, but when I was a kid, would have scared me. Nowadays, these kids are watching stuff on their phones and their iPads, you know, that's 30 times scarier than that. So,
sure.
Well,
we'll see how brave they are and desensitized when a Wolfman animatronic is 6 inches away from them.
You know, my daughter did her first Halloween Horror Nights at 8 years old, and she's obsessed.
Oh, obsessed. She still gets scared.
She's more obsessed than I am, you know. But that's going to be her. That's going to be her favorite land. So.
I can't wait.
But
and then the
it's gonna
Burning
be
Blade Tavern of fucking the windmill from Frankenstein on fire. And I'm walking in, coming right off Monsters Unchained, Frankenstein Experiment. I had 2 Celestiki drinks before I even got on the ride. And now I'm ready to sit down with some monster hunters and talk shop. Oh man. Well, cool. That is going to be something we can't wait for. There's more to come. Tickets, of course, the hotel announcement, and that damn opening date whenever we get it. Sounds like, if I had to guess, probably next month, September sometime.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Disney didn't. They can't really compete with Disney's announcements, and we're going to transition into that next. Your thoughts on the event. So they want to save the gusto, save a little bit more reveal. Horror Nights will be in swing. It's time to announce a little bit more about Epic Universe in September. I think that's a good bet.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know, again, Disney had D23 last weekend. There's a great e-stop on it that I did solo. Our last episode, episode 28. That's Aukie Disney. Brandon and I had another further conversation. And because this is my good friend and co-host Dave, I want to hear just a little bit of your thoughts on the D23 announcements, a little brief summary of your feelings, and then your top 5 announcements you're most excited for on that.
Copy. Can we pause for a second? So I guess my top 5 things that I learned from D23 would have to be, I don't know if I can list them from least to greatest.
No particular order, just the 5 things you're
no
most
particular
excited
order. Yeah,
5 things you're most excited about when there's been nearly 50 announcements.
I can do that. I'd say the Lilo and Stitch live action. That was my favorite movie when I was younger. I used to watch it all the time in preparation.
Focus on parks.
Okay, all right, focusing on parks. All right.
I know that. Yes, Friday was all the movies and stuff. Lilo and Stitch, the Stitch did not look terrible. I agree.
Okay. I guess Indiana Jones. I've never been on the Indiana Jones ride at DCA, which is that Disneyland or DCA?
Disneyland Park.
Disneyland proper. Okay.
Yes.
I've never been on that, so I'm excited to ride that. I love dinosaurs, so it's kind of a bittersweet kind of thing for me. But we'll see how it goes. The Cars Land and the attraction's coming.
You don't care that Tom Sawyer and Rivers of America are going bye-bye?
Last time I went to Tom Sawyer, I think I was 17, 16 years old.
Oh,
so no.
Look at all this stuff you missed out on. All the good times on the island.
So, yeah. I mean, yeah. I went a lot when I was a kid. Back when you could go find the missing paintbrush and get a fast pass and stuff like that.
I was just talking about that the other night with Brennan.
That was cool. And, back then it was cool. Now it's just more, they kind of let it drop. Let's see. So the Cars Land. Don't care too much about the nighttime parade. I was always the type of person who skipped Spectro Magic and just went and did rides. So,
dude, Spectro's the best.
I get that, but for me it was just always like I'm gonna go get on these rides.
It's a good time to do it.
Pirates Themed Tavern is obviously a good go-to for me.
I actually saw there's new construction happening today on it, and it's going to be bigger than I initially anticipated.
Yeah, I really thought, I'm not a huge Encanto person, but I really thought that would take the place of the Mexico Pavilion, but it looks like that it is going in Animal Kingdom, because we're going to be experiencing Dante's gift. It's Dante, right?
You're mixing 2 movies. Coco has Dante, Encanto.
Coco has Dante.
Encanto is the magical family.
Antonio's
gift.
Antonio's gift. Yes, my bad. Just got the name wrong. But obviously the 2 biggest things, and I don't know which one I'm more excited for. The Villains Land.
Easy pick.
And dude, I'm a huge Monsters Inc. fan. I watch it with my son. I watch it with my son all the time, and that new hanging coaster, in the door warehouse, I guess is what you would call that.
Yeah, in the factory.
It's in the factory, but it's like in the door warehouse where they keep all the doors.
Right.
Looks amazing.
Right.
Could give a shit about Smuggler's Run, one of my least favorite attractions at Walt Disney World. But and then Test Track. I can't wait to see if they're going to make it a lot better because it was terrible.
Low bar to do that. To make it better than 2.0 in the sim track. What about the and I am agreeing. I love, and when I talked to Brennan about it, Villains Land looks incredible. If they can match the concept art and the promises they are trying to cash here, it will be great. Disney's track record not phenomenal when matching concept and promises to execution. Main example, Galaxy's Edge. What about, did you see the new lounge they're putting inside Spaceship Earth?
I did not.
That opens up next year as well. It's the old VIP lounge for the previous presenting sponsor of Siemens, and you can go up into the ball and get some drinks, a little snack, and see out to World Showcase from that lounge.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you dig it. Sucker.
Yeah, I love Spaceship Earth, so I'd be excited for that.
Very cool. Glad to get a little bit of input on there. Overall, I thought D23 was good, much better than previous ones, and it seems that they were very specific on their verbiage to not overpromise despite the concept art, doing a lot of talking for them. And I guess one last question for you, Dave, is for the Monstropolis land, Monsters Inc. land, going into Hollywood Studios, where do you think it's going, and what's your feelings on what it may replace?
Ooh, that's so where do I think it's going? I don't know how landlocked Hollywood Studios is at this current point. I'm assuming pretty landlocked. With
all these parks would have ample space to expand, and especially studios based on their parking setup if they built parking garages at their parks. Disney does not do that though.
No, costs a lot of money. So if you had to ask me, I think your Monsters Inc. land, and this is just 100% a guess, is going to replace the Indiana Jones Stuntacular. It's been rumored to be replaced for years. I don't know if that footprint's going to be big enough. I know it's a very large footprint, but that would be my guess if I had to make a guess as to what it would replace.
Interesting. It's not one I've seen or read before.
I haven't seen or read any rumors, but
okay.
I don't know if it's big enough. But if I had to guess, they've been looking for a reason to annex Indiana Jones Stuntacular for a long time now, and there's been so many rumors of it closing and then it not closing. And I think at one time it was even announced, get your shows in now because it's almost done.
Right. I believe that may be more on the block once the Indiana Jones attraction opens in Animal Kingdom, and construction for Monsters Land has not been announced. For my speculative point, or guessing rather, I think that will open up in 28 or 29. Based on the scale. The model of the door coaster is very compact. It's not huge. So it would not be a gigantic footprint. I mean, the real worries here, for some individuals, not myself, is that it takes over the Muppets area and the Muppets courtyard, taking away that attraction.
See, I'd be pissed if that happened. I'd rather it... I love this Indiana Jones stunt show. I love it. But they've taken out a lot of stuff from that stunt show. It is not what we used to have. You know?
Oh, no.
So...
It's not what it should be. But it's not bad still. And you have that great... The theming's really good. They have those really good little food booths outside.
I don't know. I guess
you'd be
we'll
big
see.
mad if Muppets was killed for Monsters.
Yeah, I'd be pretty mad if Muppets was killed.
Okay.
I mean, they can get rid of Pizza Rizzo's. They
would more than likely take out that whole area. Muppets,
Pizza Rizzo's can go, because when they replace pizza, that pizza, it's the same pizza. It allegedly tastes the same. No, it fucking doesn't. If it's not Pizza Planet, I ain't messing with it.
Damn right. Well, if Monsters Land does go there, it would appear that they would take out all the Muppet stuff. So the show, Pizza Rizzo, the store, and not accompanying Muppets, but Mama Melrose as well for the dining location.
Disney dropped the ball when they didn't do a 2-scale version of Pizza Planet in Pixar Land.
Woody's Lunchbox or Woody's Barbecue Roundup, pretty good.
Right, no, I'm sure, but ever since you were a kid, did you not want to go into the actual Pizza Planet and get xenomorph vomit in your cup?
Yes.
And the whack-a-mole with the spaceman, and it just
what could have been.
Yep.
Disney Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Thank you for your thoughts on that. I appreciate it, Dave. I know we're playing a little bit of catch up, and we got more to talk about D23 wise as far as the cruise ships once you have your deep dive. for our little bit of news to wrap up the episode. Where do you want to go first, Dave? Disney or Universal?
We'll do Disney because it'll segue into what we're going to talk about later
Well,
with Universal.
D23.
Universal will,
close
yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
Only 2 news stories here for Disney this week that is outside D23, or at least brand new relative to D23. The first one was one of these announcements that's coming to Disneyland next year, 2025, for Disneyland's 70th anniversary. What is being very nicely put as Walt Disney the Ride, where you get to ride Walt Disney. It's great. Walt Disney: A Magical Life will be debuting the Main Street Opera House, and it's a very technologically advanced, newest use of the technology for audio animatronics. And I was pontificating, how are they going to do this? They need to use really cleaned up archival footage of his voice, or get a voice actor who does a spot-on impression. And there was an announcement made a day or 2 ago saying they will be using archival voice recordings for this particular attraction. That makes me happy. I don't need an impressionist to do Walt Disney's voice. I don't need an AI to do Walt Disney's voice.
Well, I'm a huge Walt Disney fan and Walt Disney history buff, so I absolutely will enjoy this.
Yeah, you just gotta get over to California to see it.
Yeah, well, it's coming.
That it's coming next year.
It's coming.
And then
Next year.
The other piece was that Peter Pan's flight over at the Magic Kingdom opened up earlier than expected for its renovations and refurbishment. It opened up today, August 16th, with some upgrades, and the one piece that was changed completely and fully updated was the Neverland tribe scene, to remove some of the previous negative connotations around indigenous people, and it has a much nicer presentation. They don't have what is colloquially known as the red-faced Indian there anymore presented. It's much more appropriate, and they've actually added a turntable to have a bit more kinetic energy in that scene.
No comment.
No comment. Well, I think you could succinctly, don't mess with the classics, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, buddy. Over to Universal Studios. Both got stuff for Hollywood and Orlando. Starting with Hollywood because it's one quick piece here. As it's happening this weekend and this month for Universal Orlando pass holders, the Universal Studios Hollywood pass holder appreciation days, the details have been announced, and they actually started yesterday, August 15th, and will run through September 30th. Now, the pass holders at Universal Studios Hollywood, they will be getting a couple of free things, some good deals, and something that has been done before in Orlando, but we don't get it this year, which makes me very sour, because that's pretty cool. So for select days, which is saying from August 28th through 29th, September 4th, 9th, and 10th, the first 3,500 guests, pass members daily, can get a exclusive collectible squishy tram that is modeled after the 60th anniversary world famous studio tour tram. So it's like a little stress ball shaped into the shape of the tram, and it comes in a nice little box that has all the logos and stuff on there.
That's neat.
Yeah, a little different than our pins and magnets. A little stress studio tram boy. It's really cool looking. Next up, they can get buy one, get one half off freestyle cups that have the 60th anniversary logo and Woody Woodpecker on there. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I love me some freestyle cups. I still have a bunch under my sink that I use very often.
Right. They have a bunch of food options, such as which we do get these, a special donut at Voodoo Donut, a special milkshake at Toothsome, new menu items at Jurassic Cafe. What they get that we don't is, for several restaurants, you can receive 2 complimentary pass member mocktails with the purchase of 2 adult entrees. So free mocktails, which are a little pricier than your soda. You can get buy one, get one carnival gameplay at the carnival games inside the different areas, which is the Super Silly Funland for the Despicable Me area. Buy one wand, get a complimentary wand in their Wizarding World. You can get a wand and a robe for $100, when here in Orlando the robe by itself is $140 alone, $139. So you get a robe and wand for $100.
I'm assuming not an interactive one, though.
It does not say. It says select wand, so I would imagine not interactive. But you're getting a deal nonetheless with
Yes.
just the robe.
Yes.
You
which
which what?
I could never wear one. It's too hot. Too hot.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool. They are cool. You can get a $5 off any power-up band, which is for the interactive experiences Super Nintendo World, as there's no other discount available. No past member, no team member. You pay full price. $5 off is huge. You can also bring a friend or family member for $60 off front gate prices. You get
wow.
$20 off one-day express, $100 off a VIP ticket, and then the big one, which I say for last, Dave, because I think you'd be frustrated that we don't get this either, at least this year. During this appreciation period, Universal Studios Hollywood Pass members can take a special lights-on walkthrough tour of the A Quiet Place Haunted House on 2 different days. And you need a special RSVP, but you don't have to pay anything extra. It just comes with the pass as long as you get a reservation.
So, and I'm assuming these aren't guided tours. I'm assuming it's just a regular generic walkthrough with the lights on.
There's a 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 to 6 period PM slots on Tuesday, September 17th, Wednesday, September 25th. No photography, videotaping, or recording allowed during the tour. So it does say tour. And they have to they need someone to regulate ensuring no photography, videotaping, or recording.
Those spots are going to fill fast.
They always do. I mean, we saw it with our pass holder appreciation happening right now. And they also have appreciation nights as well, which have already come and gone, I believe. However, a lights-on walkthrough tour of a house, you're paying a minimum of $100 to do that here.
Which I don't even believe they offer that as a purchase in Hollywood.
No, they don't have it there.
A lot of times you can win a guided walkthrough with John Murdy at Midsummer Scream and stuff like that. But yeah, they don't do Unmasking the Horror like we do in Orlando.
No, this is very rare, very special treat. And you have 2 opportunities to do it if you're on the West Coast with a pass. Again, September 17th and 25th, several slots available. Those RSVPs will begin available to the public on August 21st. No time given, so just gotta be terminally online that day if you want a chance at it. Into Universal Orlando now. Quick one. You may or may not have seen, Dave. They released the attendance
can I jump back? Universal Hollywood City Walk is also, their Toothsome is closing their store that's attached to the restaurant. They had everything in the store. I believe it was 25% off.
It jumped up to 70.
Wow.
Do you know why they're doing that?
I haven't a clue, because they just recently opened their Toothsome not too long ago.
It's under 2 years old, I believe. They're actually putting in a permanent bar.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
They had a temporary.
It's a lot smaller than our Toothsome.
Yes.
So.
Yes, they're upstairs.
Okay.
It's very minimal. However,
makes sense, and I couldn't see the store being that popular. I know in Orlando, the only time I ever bought anything from that store is actually when I walked with my pregnant wife from Hard Rock to City Walk to get milkshakes we walked from Royal Pacific to get milkshakes with the kids, and it was only like 9 o'clock at night, and they had stopped serving milkshakes.
At 9 o'clock?
I believe it was 9 or 10 o'clock at the latest.
Oh, what, the cow stopped pissing milk?
I guess they stopped when we were there. I guess they weren't doing the milkshakes once the restaurant closed. Okay. So, which makes no sense to me, because they have a whole milkshake bar in the gift shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the gift shop.
So,
the bar upstairs wasn't open either then.
Yeah, no. Which I believe they used to serve milkshakes at the milkshake bar in the gift shop.
That's usually always going.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Well, the restaurant was still open, but they were not taking seating anymore, so they stopped serving milkshakes to people walk-ups. So I was not too happy, because for the first time I was actually in the mood to get a milkshake from Toothsome, and I never have. So
they're good. They're way too much.
Yeah.
I only want one sip. I said, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you'd talked about that, so I wanted to throw that out there, because that's news too. So
I think the last time we touched on it was when they did the temporary bar, and that was a few months ago.
Okay. Gotcha.
Universal Orlando, and then we're getting into Hard Nights. Universal Orlando, as I was saying, you may or may not have seen, they released the attendance figures for last quarter or last year, and that Universal Orlando is down 10% almost attendance for year to year.
I think nationwide, everybody is down on attendance. I know the area where I live is a huge tourist destination, and the crowds are not what they used to be. You know, the economy fluctuates, and it shows sometimes. And, you know, I don't know the logistics with Universals, but I know around here we do a lot of pontoon rentals in the area where I live, and boat rentals, and fishing trips, and their prices kept going up, and people just can't afford it anymore. You know, you eventually outprice people, you know, and people are still going to go, yes, but eventually you're going to outprice people. And, you know, it makes you wonder when, if ever, they're going to hit that where they're like, oh man, we cannot raise the prices of annual passes this year. We cannot raise the prices of a daytime ticket this year. Because I know it's consistently been on the rise for years, and maybe it will, you know, but at what point do they have to say, damn, we need to retract, or damn, we need to go and just not raise prices, you know?
You see it on Hollywood, actually. They dropped the prices for their passes, and they dropped prices for Hard Nights Express some nights already.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they're dropping prices because they understand. And there's a lot of factors to come into play. Of course, you know, financial and the economy right now. You also have a brand new theme park opening up next year that's going to deter people from, like, all right, I'm going to wait to go to Florida until this new thing's here. And that being said, Universal Studios Japan had a 30% increase in guests from year to year. Islands of Adventure down 9.3%. Universal Studios Florida down 9.3%.
Well,
Universal Studios Hollywood up 15%. It's that Nintendo draw. Japan,
it's Nintendo. And you
Hollywood,
know, it's not
Nintendo.
It's not that surprising. You know, if it's like the only time Disney offers the Disney dining plan with resort reservation is when they're
hurting,
struggling.
Yeah.
You know, and with Universal putting out this $199 for the rest of the year ticket, they're doing it for a reason. They're not doing it to be nice. They're doing it for a reason.
They want to draw people in before Epic, and that's what they're
business
doing
is
here.
business.
That's what they're doing here. They're offering their first ever Universal Orlando dining card vacation package. And this package includes a food and beverage card, very similar to ones they sell at Mardi Gras. It's good for food and drink, including alcohol, valued up to $1,000 based on your hotel stay.
Oh, wow.
And which hotels you stay at. So if you want the 1,000, you have to stay at the premier hotels, Portofino, Hard Rock, or Royal Pacific. You stay there 5+ nights, you get the $1,000. You stay there 4 nights, you get $800. You need a 4-night minimum stay to get the card.
Okay.
For 5 nights, again, Premiers gets 1,000. Sapphire and Cabana, you get 600. Aventura, Stella, Nova, and Terra Luna, you get 500. And then the Endless Summer Resort, you get 400.
Is this per person, or is this
for the room?
For the room.
Yep.
Okay.
So you stay 5 nights at Portofino Bay, you get $1,000 for your 6 days of hanging out.
Okay. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, and it says it does not work at, you know, third-party places, the Palm at Hard Rock, Beachay at Portofino. It doesn't work at Blondie's at Islands of Adventure for some reason.
Wow.
Yep.
If anybody with Universal Orlando is listening to this, the best way to get customers back in is to bring back their
the
unlimited dining plan.
All-day dining.
All-day dining.
For $25. And
my God.
And certainly only sell it to one person, because it's only one person eating off that plan.
What would we have done as 18 and 19-year-olds without that?
Oh, we wouldn't have ate. And then especially because, was it still going on when we were 21? It might have been one
yes,
year of it.
yes, it was for sure. It was for sure, because I know we used it in 2012 for sure. I think 2012 may have been the last year that it was available, because I remember you and I eating at World Expo one day before Horror Nights. I was like, let's get it in now, boys.
Oh, that was it. I mean, there was guys there who had only enough money to get into the event. They couldn't buy a single drink or eat, and that's how they were able to be fed, was bumming off the dining package.
Yep.
Completely agree. Oh my God. All right, time for Horror Nights and then our closing segments, and we will wrap up here. First up, little international Horror Nights news. This is I can't remember if we talked about it. I'm sorry. The Universal Studios Japan Halloween Horror Nights all-night event.
We did.
Okay.
I'm 99% sure. No, we didn't. I think we talked about that personally.
So.
We talked about it personally. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast because
Ran out of time.
the thing I didn't get to mention that I wanted to mention is it runs, trains close at 10 there, and they reopen at, I think, at 5 or 6 a.m. Whenever the event closes is when the trains reopen.
10 p.m.
No, whenever the trains reopen is when that event closes for the night.
5 a.m.
5 a.m. Because a majority of their employees and a majority of guests use the train for transportation. So,
right.
Once you go there, you're pretty much stuck there. So
good.
It's neat. It's interesting. I believe there's only 2 houses this year, if I'm not mistaken.
The haunted houses, Biohazard, Night of Heroes, and Chucky's Carnival of Chaos.
And I was correct, by the way. Last time when I was quoted in saying Claire run and Leon run, and then we changed it to Jill and Leon, it really was Claire and Leon were the 2 runs.
Okay.
So I corrected myself. I second guessed myself, but it really was Claire and Leon were the 2 runs.
The 2 Leons.
Yeah, but the food at Horror Nights Japan just outdoes everything else.
Yeah.
The theme.
Hopefully
I would kill to be able to go to this.
Right. This limited
And
event-
actually,
yeah, go ahead.
I would plan my trip around this if I was going over there.
Oh, God, if they have it in the future, this will definitely be the one to pick.
Yep.
The limited Halloween Horror Nights all-night event will run from 10 p.m. on Friday, October 18th, to 5 a.m. Saturday, October 19th. So the event starts at 10 p.m. The guests, if you buy the ticket, can enter as soon as 3 p.m. on Friday. So you can go from 3 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets start at 12,000 yen, which is about $81 American. And the tickets will be on sale from 2 p.m. on Monday, August 19th until September 30th, or until tickets sell out. Tickets are limited, first come, first service, and you must be at least 18 years old. As mentioned, the haunted houses, the 2 of them will be open. Some rides, including Jaws, will be open until 5 a.m. Can you fucking imagine riding Jaws at 4 in the morning?
I could.
Oh,
unfortunately, this will never happen in Orlando due to liquor laws.
Well, they stopped serving at 1 o'clock anyway.
Yeah, which they don't have to, but they do.
Yup.
But yeah, amazing. And if that's all you have to touch on in Japan, I would like to mention something foreign Horror Nights, which blows my mind.
Sorry,
Beijing has announced that Jack and Chance will be coming to Beijing for the Halloween season, it baffles me because a lot of places in China do not celebrate Halloween like that.
Right.
For ancestral cultural issues, they don't do horror stuff, which is why in Disneyland, Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken, they do not have a haunted mansion there. It is Mystic Manor.
Yes.
Which I've always been told that was because of cultural issues, because it's frowned upon in China to represent spirits in certain ways. Disrespectful. So it blows my mind, which I'm assuming it's not going to be much of a spirit thing. It's going to be more crazy clown and crazy chance.
Oh, it's circus.
But I believe that's all they announced. I don't believe they mentioned anything further in reference to an event they're having.
Right. And just
if I'm not
Jack,
mistaken.
Which is, again, big. Nearly forgot that one. Thank you for bringing it up. That's going to be... I'm really looking forward to seeing what Beijing does, because have they done Horror Nights before?
No, they have not.
No, because they pretty much started making Beijing and then COVID, and then they opened up, and now here we are. Oh, man. This could be pretty incredible. They'll probably have more houses than Japan, just due to size.
Well, so you think they would have already started mentioning that, but maybe this is kind of a trial run for them, see how guests react to
maybe they do one house.
Scary stuff.
Or just scare zones, yeah. So they have okay, we won't give you a house yet.
Yeah.
Let's test out this one. Okay.
So we'll see. And if anybody knows more about Chinese culture and and stuff like that, reach out to us. Let us know,
Yeah,
because it's
please
not a
educate
topic I'm
us.
very familiar on. I just always assumed that's why they didn't have it.
Right. That makes sense to me. I believe you, Dave. You're a cultural expert.
Yes,
That's why you
I
like
am.
cruises.
Thank you.
Thank
You're right.
Thank you.
Bingo.
Quick hits here. There was a few final announcements over at Hollywood for their Horror Nights. The Purge Dangerous Waters returns to Halloween Horror Nights 24 in Hollywood, taking over the Waterworld Stadium. It was a super good show, very bloody. I had a lot of fun of it watching it last year with my dad and ZJ. Great show to catch. I prefer it to what we have in Orlando because, of course, there's actual blood and horror in it.
Yes.
It's really cool. I don't know if there's a recording out there. Maybe Dave, you can speak to it.
I did not watch it because I plan on attending Hollywood next year for sure.
Okay, perfect. Oh, there is actually a video. I'm looking at it right now on YouTube. So
Okay.
Purge Dangerous Waters. Check it out. Super, super good. Their next one was the Terror Tram over at Universal Hollywood. They take over the studio tram tour and make it spooky. Terror Tram has entered the Blumhouse this year,
Yep.
which will be terrifying. Blumhouse characters have taken over the Terror Tram, face the murderous android Megan, the Grabber, and more. The concept art has the freaky Vince Vaughn character. They have a Purge character. They have the baby from Happy Death Day in it. Very similar to our Scare Zone.
And Bagul, correct? Do they have Bagul on
I
there?
don't see Bagul
Okay.
from Sinister.
Yeah, he's on ours though, right?
I don't see him on that. 'Cause
What the hell?
I'm looking at ours next to it.
No, I saw it.
Okay, well, you find that, and then I'll talk about this one real quick, since they officially announced, after teasing it for a long time, that the final Scare Zone in the San Francisco area of Universal Orlando for Halloween Horror Nights 2024, Halloween Horror Nights 33, is Enter the Blumhouse. All the staging and facade work was already put up, but it's officially announced. Enter the Blumhouse Scare Zone. Run a terrifying gauntlet of Blumhouse characters, from the Grabber to Megan dancing into your nightmares. This is a new kind of horror, and on the concept art, or the released art that I have the Grabber, Megan, Vince Vaughn's freaky character, and the baby mask from Happy Death Day.
Well, you're right. Maybe I guess I just believed I saw that, but I didn't.
Having a obscure character in the Blumhouse lineup, not here.
He was the best Blumhouse movie made.
Until the twist ending.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I liked it.
Cleaning up Orlando, they have announced the piece of the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, which you could become part of. I believe it's $89 this year. Where is the price? I don't have the price in front of me. However, you can choose from becoming part of the Halloween Horror Nights 2024 tribute store. You can be on, you get your picture of you, your partner, or you can put your pet on there as well. You could be a crate of flavor where it looks like a bunch of rotten meat and your picture's on there saying you endorse this. One is Cretaceous oil, which is a spooky oil can. Llama beans, where it's ground up llama and you're diving into the bowl. Or Earl's coffee beans, which has Earl the squirrel and your face on there as the mascots for the fictitious coffee beans on there. You also get a 24 by 36 inch poster with this purchase, and then you get to take home the fake product with your picture on it at the end. Again, I believe it's $89. You can start doing that today. I've never done one of these. I wanted to do the one for Mardi Gras where they put your picture on a liquor bottle. I think that would have been a bit cooler. The poster's pretty neat for this one. I, however, don't want to be on a fake product can.
Yeah, no. I mean, if I would have done any of them, it would have been the ultraviolet comic ones, just because it ties into Horror Nights.
Those ones are really cool. This one's just
But-
junk.
Yeah, no, it sounds stupid. It doesn't even sound like Horror Nights related. When I first saw the sign, I was like, is this Horror Nights related? You know? And then,
Does not
yeah.
appear so. Well, we'll see. The teases of the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store in Orlando have been an estate sale, more so. And it could be an old haunted house and they're selling all the crap out of it, which this may fall into it. We'll see. The team member preview of that will be on Tuesday, August 27th, and annual pass holders, I believe, in the afternoon for that. And we should be seeing a facade going up here very soon in regards to the tribute store.
Tribute store.
Yes.
Cool.
The final announcement, and I believe this was the final house for Universal Studios Hollywood. Big time reveal. Not personally for me. I know a lot of people are big mad that Orlando didn't get it and said Orlando's the worst event ever because they didn't get it. Very, very bad takes and opinions. Universal Studios Hollywood is getting the return. The Weekend Nightmare Trilogy. Brand new songs, taking the full Nightmare Trilogy of albums into consideration. And it will be a sequel to the Weekend After Hours Nightmare.
Which, it was a great house, but...
It was a fine house.
It was a fine house. Yes, it was a fine house. I had more fun in it than I thought I was going to. I'm not mad it's not coming back. And actually, I wouldn't have wanted to see it back.
Yeah, I would have swapped Ghostbusters if we had to pick an IP for IP.
Yeah.
However, Ghostbusters is on both coasts as well. Or give us, honestly, give me the Texas Chainsaw Anthology House. It's probably going to be the best house of the year across the board. Based on the content. The Weekend returns in a new haunted house spawned from After Hours, Dawn FM, and a horrifying new tale. Get ensnared by the most iconic moments inspired by his music videos and live performances. So that's what we got. That is all your Hard Nights updates. Again, today, I took a bunch of videos and pictures. Brennan posted them into a nice little thing on our social media pages at Park Talk Radio, Facebook. Join the page, like the page, join the group. TikTok, Instagram, we're on YouTube, all your podcasting platforms. And be sure to give us a follow, a like, and engage. Brennan runs the social media. She loves to hear from you. And we're about to go into our closing segments, which is voicemails and Wall of Shame if we have time. Definitely voicemails.
Yeah, definitely voicemail. Let's hit it.
You can leave a voicemail at 407-490-2220 of what you're talking about, your rankings for Horror Nights or Epic Universe or anything for as far as the Disney D23 convention. Your own park visits call, how the day going. If you have a question for Dave and I or Brennan, we'd be happy to engage. So our foist and only voicemail for this week is from our good friend Fisher. I misspoke. We actually have another voicemail that just came in. Let's hear that one first, Dave. Here is voicemail number 1. This is not Fisher's.
Kennedy.
Okay.
I would appreciate a return call at your earliest opportunity. I would appreciate a return call at your earliest opportunity. I would appreciate a return call at your earliest opportunity.
Well, what's your phone number?
I would appreciate a return call at your earliest opportunity.
Did they hang up? Hello?
Hello? Did you have a question about the parks?
I would appreciate a call at your earliest opportunity.
You know what, Bill? Go ahead and send her some merch.
All right, I'm sending it out right now. They get the whole lineup: t-shirt, hat, socks, underwear, butt plug.
They win.
The whole deal. Okay. So you can leave a voicemail of anything. See, that just like that, you can just be pissed off that we didn't call you back. It should be going straight to voicemail. We're not going to call you back. Next voicemail from Fisher. Here we go.
I called and it says D&B, and I was like, is this Dave Matthews Band podcast? Hey, it's Fisher. I'm calling with hello, Bill, Dave, and social media queen, Brennan. I'm calling with I think you guys are going to do this if you ever record. Your top 10 for most anticipated houses this year for HHN. Orlando, HHN 33. All right, here we go. 10 to 1. 10, least excited. 1, most excited. 10, Ghostbusters. Meh. 9, A Quiet Place. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. It could be great. I don't know. They're testing, right? So we'll see. 8, Goblins. 7, Monsters, Eternal Bloodlines. Lots of reasons for that. I won't get into it on the voicemail.
Is too high already.
6, Insidious.
Yep.
Has potential to be terrifying. We'll see how they do.
No, it does not.
It's an IP, though, and not an original IP. Yeah. Triplets, I have a 5. If there's a story to this to me has major potential. If it's the house with the veterans, it's going to be a great house. When I say veterans, I mean veteran scare actors who know what the fuck they're doing. 4 major suites. We have a backstory. I think this is going to be probably lots of folks' favorite this year. I think it's got a lot of potential. 3, Monstros. It's going to be awesome. I almost think they're copying and pasting from Hollywood. 2, I've got Slaughter Cinema 2. We get the return of the Q Line movie or video, whatever we want to call it. I don't remember the last time we've seen that. And number 1, the Museum Deadly Exhibits. Tent 1, Sprung Tent 1. don't have much of a backstory yet. Something just tells me that this house is going to be great. Really wish we had some more backstories of some of these houses, but yeah, that's my top 10. You guys, or gals, dudes, whatever, do yours. My list fits in the lagoon at Epcot. Bye.
Oh, I hate this.
You can't stop. You can't stop losing.
I'm retiring.
Damn, we're almost at 30. You can't quit.
No, I'll keep going.
Oh,
As long as all 30 podcasts will fit in the Epcot Lagoon.
I think that's a solid list. I think Fisher's sleeping on goblins and has Insidious too high.
Okay. All right. So you go with your 10 first.
So let me preamble that I did listen to a few of those Universal Echoes from the Fog podcast stories, and that's exactly to your point, Fisher. You wish we had more stories to us. You have to listen to a podcast to get them now.
I have not done that yet,
or
so I plan
go on
doing
the
that.
RIP tour, and the tour guide will tell you for $600.
Yeah.
So he, not to one-to-one, but number 10, same for me, Ghostbusters. I wasn't a huge fan of the 2018 house.
No,
19. I wasn't a huge
Maybe.
fan.
Hold on.
Frozen Empire, not a good movie. Don't have any hopes for this one. Next up,
Whoa! I get to go with my 10.
Oh, I thought I was just gonna knock them all out. Sorry, you're number 10.
So my number 10 is Ghostbusters.
All right. Okay, so it's across the board. 3 for Ghostbusters, number 10. It's not scary. The first one was fun, but nothing crazy. Good sets. That's the best praise I can give.
Yeah.
Number 9. I think like the bottom half is the more difficult part than the top half as far as excitement. Number 9, I'm probably gonna go with Major Suites. Despite the originality
I like
of
it.
and
I like
the
it. I
concept,
like it.
You're in that cursed queue of Fast and Furious, which according to some reports, it's not actually even in the queue anymore. It's completely outside under a tent.
Yeah. Number 9 for me is also Major Suites. I do not think it's going to be good. The scare zone was cool because of the set pieces, not because of the actors' costuming or anything like that.
I didn't like the scare zone. I don't think it's a great storyline. The
floats were beautiful. Everything else was trash.
The podcast storyline kind of interesting, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I couldn't understand what was going on. What did Fisher had? What, Quiet Place at 9?
Quiet Place was 9 for Fisher.
Yeah, but then he had Goblins at 8. Number 8 for me is going to be, I think, Insidious, because I've not liked Insidious in the previous iterations. I don't think it's a great IP. I think the movies really are not good. While there are scary pieces of imagery and it can be terrifying, I lose some of the luster because of the storyline being so minimal and not great. However, I will be pleasantly surprised if it's scary and good.
So people are going to think I'm copying you because my number 8's also Insidious. And, this could be higher on my list had I not already had an Insidious house in 2014. 2015, sorry.
Yeah.
I've already seen it.
I mean, it's almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, but still, it's very, it's got some creepy imagery, but to me, it's just not, I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm going to go ahead with number 7 so people don't think I'm copying you. And my number 7 is Goblin's Feast. I feel like this is going to be too similar to Dueling Dragons, which was a god-awful house. We had the fairy tale folk woodland creatures, the orcs and the, stuff like that in that house. So I wasn't a fan of it. So hopefully it proves me wrong.
They did release some at the at some reveal, not Unmasking the Horror. I've done well to avoid those spoilers. They did show concept art of the goblins' masks, and they look really fucked up. Like the one goblin's eye is missing, and there's some drooping features. So it looks really cool. The podcast for the story was really not super engaging, and it is what you get what you see here. It's a goblin's going to eat humans, and you're the human they're going to eat.
So Troll 2.
Troll 2. Oh my god! However,
They ate him, and now they're gonna eat me.
what are we on? Number 7? I'm not giving my number 7, however. My number 7 is actually going to be Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. So we are different here. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I think we're going to start retreading territory here with the monster stuff, especially now that we're reusing monsters. It's Gilman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon's anniversary, 75 years this year? Something like that, 75, 80. No representation. And we're going back to the Mummy. We're going back to Dracula. It's cool that we have the daughter of Van Helsing. I think this would have been better off if we had a prequel house to get us excited for Dark Universe and Victoria Frankenstein.
Well, I agree. And that's why Eternal Bloodlines is my number 6, because it really gets too close to what we had with the Bride of Frankenstein house. We've already had the Bride of Frankenstein against the daughters and brides of Dracula.
Right.
So
it feels like a little bit of a retread. I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be probably really good, as it always is.
I think it's going to have great set pieces.
About hype and that excitement level, right?
Yeah.
Expectations. Yeah. And then number 6 for me is going to be A Quiet Place. It's going to be really interesting how they try to pull this off. And during the podcast segment for this, because they did do a segment on it outside the other originals, and they're talking about, here's kind of we're talking about an unspoken agreement between the guests and the actors to say, if you want to buy into the experience, you're going to be quiet as best you can, or you're going to run through the house and scream like every other haunted house. And they want to encourage the operations team members to encourage the guests to be quiet as they walk through this particular experience. That's why it's in the middle of the pack. It could go real good or real bad if it depends on the group you're with, right?
Yep. For the same reason, 5 for me is A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and throw that out there.
So then next for me, number 5 would be Goblin's Feast, because of those other reasons. I think it looks a lot better than it sounds. It's going to be a lot better than it sounds. The masks really got me excited for it, and leaves me with, some good forward momentum that this is going to be pretty darn cool as far as set design, and really the costume designs are going to be the killer point on this. As with all houses, the cast decides it, and that will really determine how well this does. There's going to be goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and giants in here, plus a few humans.
My 4th is going to be Triplets of Terror.
I think it's a good spot for that.
Yeah, it's it could be cool, but it could also be just your generic redneck, cannibalistic house. We'll see how they do with it.
Yeah, I've not listened to the particular podcast segment on that yet. However, number 4 for me is going to be Monstros. I don't think it's going to be a copy and paste from Hollywood, and that makes me even more excited, because Hollywood was pretty damn good. My favorite house of the event last year on that side. That said, the top 3...
You've already seen it.
I've seen part of it, right? I have an expectation. The top 3 originals, the last 3 for me, do not have any expectation beyond what I've been given. And then number 3 would become Triplets of Terror for myself.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be redneck. I don't think it's going to be cannibalistic. They're triplets going on a murdering spree. And as we continue to say, Horror Nights is the really only thing we want to speculate on and make guesses and talk about rumors. Well, the rumor on this is, with it being inside a soundstage, they've built almost a full cul-de-sac of buildings and houses. So this is huge, and it's supposed to be pretty fucking gory, which we haven't had for a while. That's why I get the number 3 spot.
Okay, I like that. My number 3 is Monstros.
Hell yeah.
I think it's going to be an amazing house. I did see walkthroughs of the one in Hollywood. I think it's going to be great. Good. So it's going to be better than Chupacabra. So perfect.
Oh God, please get rid of the Chupacabra talk. I never want to hear it again.
You're number 2.
Number 2, Slaughter Cinema 2. Even though this is probably the most exposed house before going in, based on you could have been spoiled by Unmasking the Horror. You could have been spoiled by some of the stuff at Spooky Con, or not Spooky Con. What the fuck's it called?
Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire. I was almost there. They also did USA Today, did a full thing of it and posted stuff. They posted the full scene lineup of every single B movie they're going to show. Nonetheless, Slaughter Cinema 1 is a proven concept. Slaughter Cinema 2 is completely different besides the overarching theme and the throughput. I love it because the anthology house, a mashup house, is always such a crowd pleaser, and that does not stop with me. I'm no stranger to the enjoyment of these particular properties.
I agree with you. My number 2 is Museum of Deadly Exhibits.
Yes.
I think this is going to be an amazing house. I can't wait to walk in and see Ben Stiller, bringing the museum to life.
Akhman Ra.
Yeah. The Tablet of Amun-Ra.
The Rotting Stone.
I think this house is going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be creepy. I think it's going to touch a lot of bases. I love the fact that we're going into this very closed-minded, not knowing what we're going to get. Mm-hmm. But still, this one and Slaughter Cinema can be interchangeable for me. Slaughter Cinema being my number 1, I just love that first iteration so much that I got to put it at my number 1. So
totally understand. It leaves me with Museum Deadly Exhibit as number 1 for my excitement list, and can't wait to go into and enjoy. Not only is it in a tent, which means you go down there after staying Scream, you go in, and the transition takes so long for your eyes to adjust from the sun to the darkness of the tent. It's so disorienting and scary, terrifying stuff.
Yep.
And I think the concept is one of the most inspired ones of the lineup across the board. Because you have stuff we've done before, Monstros, Major Suites, Monsters, Ghostbusters, Insidious, Slaughter Cinema even in there. You have some new concepts, both IP with Quiet Place and original with Triplets of Terror. And then you have Goblin Suite, which is kind of up in the air. And then we have Museum Deadly Exhibit, which is really diving into a very focused piece of ideology and kind of twisting it, which why I'm so excited. It could be... I don't know what to expect. I know there's a rotting stone, which is going to bring shit to life and possessed. And that could be any number of things inside the museum.
It was very hard for me to do a hype list this year because I don't like the lineup this year. And I know the new HHN newbies are going to give me shit for saying that, because if they're within their first 5 years ago and everything sounds amazing to them. But yeah.
I don't think it's a terrible lineup. I don't think it's strong. And it's definitely an in-between. They like to focus on the anniversaries. We'd had 30, 35, and 2 more years in 26, and we have Epic Universe opening up next year in 25. So we have less IPs. We have a little bit scaled back, maybe some stuff in regards to it. I mean, that's pure speculation. They certainly have money through Comcast. Nonetheless, I think those are some good lineups and some good agreements. I mean, it sounds like you, Fish, and I have some good input and shared feelings. Ghostbusters at the end, Museum near the top, Slaughter Cinema near the top. I'm surprised he had Insidious and Major Suites so high. I would not ones I typically agree with. We don't have time for Wall of Shame this week. That's okay. There's always plenty of shame to be shared. And then next week we'll go over the scare zones and some other previous Horror Nights years, I think. Since this will be a quick turnaround between tonight's episode and our next recording session. There's one final announcement, Dave, and I want to get your opinion where this falls on your hype list. Announced today, they're going to have Jimmy Fallon's Tonightmares.
I did see this.
It's real. I'm not fucking with you.
No, I did see this. I don't think Jimmy Fallon takes things very seriously, so I don't know how well this is going to be done.
This will be located up in New York's Rockefeller Center into a haunted
not
house.
That I don't like Jimmy Fallon. 10 scenes. And it's supposed to be very reminiscent of Horror Nights, is what it said.
Using the same team. They're using the same team to bring it to life.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, this is going to be used for more media than anything, I think. So,
I mean, the concept art and the poster looks pretty good. Is Jimmy Fallon laying in a bed with a hashtag the panda doll in his hand, and then he's cowering as a Grim Reaper reaches over his head. There's a scarecrow behind him, a wolf man, and some other ghoulies in the background, which they're not cartoony. They are scary looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I wish I could get up there to see it, but I won't.
No, definitely not this year.
Yep.
That will do it for tonight, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with us. I know another long episode, but we had lots to talk about. I'm glad I have Dave here. We always get into great conversations. And it's 2 weeks as of today's recording, 2 weeks from Horror Nights' grand opening for 2024. I will be there reporting live alongside Brennan and Zandra. Be sure to check out all our socials at Park Talk Radio. Be sure to follow us on all podcast platforms and share to your friends. Park Talk Radio. Email us, parktalkradio@gmail.com, and leave a voicemail, 407-490-2220. And I'm so sorry, we did have an email coming from Brian, my dad. He wanted to be the first email, because we haven't gotten one yet. He said, to prove I'm always listening, here's the invite for Dave's Jurassic Mile. And he shared with me a photo that he put together.
Nice.
That I'll send
so
to
he's
you.
down?
He's down. I'll share it to you right now, Dave, and then we can
Nice.
share on the Facebook page. But thank you all so much.
Perfect.
Have a great
You're the man, Brian.
great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you in the park very soon for Halloween. Dave, anything else?
No, man. Just as long as people aren't washing their hands after they pee, we're good.
And we'll see you